beautiful friends. Let me lower down the background music a little bit, just a little. All right, so I don't make a lot of videos anymore. I'm kind of full hermit mode. I still do my spiritual stuff. I still have my spiritual business, but I've taken it to a whole other kind of branch, you could say. I've more focused on my one-on-one clients, and of course my content creation of like my books and my classes. Like that's like the main thing that I do. So YouTube wasn't really a big place. I felt like it was more like I had to do a lot of videos to see anything from YouTube, but it's still a place that I like to come to share because I know a lot of you are still here, are still subscribed, are still supporting. So, which brings me here. Of course, some of you gonna get emails, personal emails. Some of you get my little email blast. So, get ready for everything. I want to share with you something before it starts to get crazy. Okay, so we are in August and we have the energy of October that's going to be very, very vibrant. Remember when I told you many, many moons ago that our lives are changing? We're in a huge shift that stay in gratitude because of the changes, because we're going into a new chapter. And I've been witnessing this not only in my life, but in the lives of the clients that I have been working on in the last couple of months. It's almost like our lives are filled with patterns, right? And those patterns repeat themselves so we could grow and learn from them. That's the reason I feel like mainly why we're here is so we could expand and grow and ascend. So right now we're at that crossroads where we're going to repeat certain patterns in our lives, things that we don't want. So you are right now making way, and I repeated this, you're making way, people, for the next 7 years. So this is your next chapter. So right now where you are, you're looking at your life and you're like, okay, well, wait a minute, this looks very familiar. There's a lot of deja vu going on. A lot of you have had like unwanted changes, like, oh, I didn't want this breakup, I didn't want this move, I didn't want to lose this job, why is this happening? And I had been expressing these things are going to come in effect into our lives if we don't make the changes, beforehand, because we are being shifted to, move. Life is about change. As humans, we don't like change. We're creatures of comfort. We like to kind of live. We feel like we're going to be a certain age forever until we get older and we're like, holy shit, where did that time go? So I have, all I do is research. All I do is talk to spirit. All I do is meditate, and I love to read. And I have, one of the things that I wanted to do was just live more peaceful, less this, and more me, more hermit. But at the same time, my purpose is always to share, share the spiritual insights, share the magic. So I still do this, so I still come. But now I do it in a way where instead of I'm here and I'm talking to everybody, I only allow a certain amount of people to interact with me. And also it's a way for me to receive. Before it was, I feel like, and that was like kind of my big thing. So if you see my past videos, my big thing was me giving all the time. And I felt like I was being shorthanded. So now I completely changed that. So now in order to kind of work with me, it's more like a personal type of work, like more one-on-one, like more kind of dedication, which before it was like, felt like I was everywhere. Which leads me to, let's talk about what's happening in October. So we start October 1st with this beautiful energetic ritual, which I will do with you live. So it'll probably be via Zoom or one of those live where you get to see me. And if you are chose to be seen, or, and we get to actually speak and talk and interact. Massive, amazing energy kind of like work together. I will be doing some amazing magic that I use myself, that I teach, and that I have learned from higher powers. So, but even before that, the first thing you're going to get is the obstacle removal energetic vibrational video, which is where I guide you to surrender. And it's something that I've been working on myself, and then I've taught it to my clients, and they've seen some crazy results in their lives, because I feel like we were taught in manifesting, visualizing, let's control, let's do this, and nobody actually teaches you something that's so powerful that is in the great books, but because of fear, we don't tap into that. And because we don't tap into that, we don't manifest and achieve our full potential. So this is something that I have been taught by God, and it's like surreal to me. And I'm sharing this with you just in that opening ritual that you will receive ASAP once you commit to this beautiful energetic vibration, cosmic vibe that we will all be encountering. So then on the first, again, we're going to go live. We're going to do some movement work, some energy work. We're going to share insights on what you have learned. And even before that, after that first initial ritual, every week, because hello, we're in August, every week you're going to receive in your inbox some magic. And this will be via video. So it's almost like class pants ritual, because so much goes into it, and I want to really share everything that's going into this vibration and why this energy is so powerful. So if you want to pause, make yourself some coffee and sit back and relax. So let's start. Why is this energy so powerful? Well, first of all, because the October energy is the hunter's moon. And if we talk, let's just look at the hunter. What does the hunter do? So the hunter, and even today in our society where we eat from a supermarket, people still have to hunt that food, regardless if it's, in a farm or however they're getting it. They're still hunting, gathering, and that is the vibration of October, is you need to hunt in order to feed yourself. And back then, of course, life was much, much simpler. So we were hunting, we were feeding our families, we were supporting in just a kind of different level. Today our hunting skills is you gotta go to work. You gotta work X amount of hours a week to make ends meet, and even then sometimes it's not enough. I hear about this all the time. When I come back, because I still check my YouTube, I still reply to your comments. So every time I get a comment, it's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I always try to veer them to the very best possible outcomes to help them and guide them. But the truth is, your power comes when you actually hands-on inject yourself in these types of lessons, these types of manifesting energies, in order to co-create the life that you intend and desire. I always offer one-on-ones because it's different for me to be able to tap into your life and to work out a plan with you to manifest and create just for you. So that's what I love, because I love to be able to help this one person achieve greatness. But I have to do that at a level where I can't keep cutting myself like I used to do before. So this is a way for me to share some of that magic with you in a more open format environment. Not only that, this is something that you're going to use over and over and over. So it doesn't end just because of the October moon or energy or vibration. This is something that you are going to learn, this magic, and you're going to incorporate it into your life, and you're going to shift some intense stuff. For those of you here that are like, oh, but Daisy, I need like money, just off the bat, I share with you a specific power prayer that opens up the gateways to manifest abundance, because I get that a lot. But not only that, I'm also helping you with your love life, with your health, with your fertility, with your spiritual growth, like all the taking our lives into that beautiful pyramid, and just really focusing on the mental, the spiritual, and the physical in all the areas. Because if you're unbalanced in any of the areas, then obstacles start to flood in. And that is the first thing that we do, is clear the obstacles. Because if I'm trying, here I have a desk right in front of me. You might not see so much clutter, but I do have all the things that I'm working on, because I have now a crafty business with my children. And I have here in front of me the things that I have to do, and it's full. So I can't bring more stuff into this because it's already full. So I must finish this and clear it so I can make room in order to bring new things. Energetically, our lives are programmed the same way. If we have too much clutter, what happens is we create obstacles, because what happens is if I keep adding to this pile of my to-dos, it becomes a massive disorganized mess. It becomes overwhelming. I don't know where to start, where to achieve, what to work on. So just that initial commitment, which is something that I'm offering, because I get it. Sometimes things are scary. Sometimes people be like, "Oh, Daisy's crazy. I can never do that." But that is the problem. That we feel that we can achieve things. We feel that we can have things. We have physically programmed ourselves to think, I can't afford that, I can't have that, I can't achieve that. So even me, and this is the reason why I stopped doing the stuff that I used to do, because even when I used to break down my work to the bare minimum, people would still tell me that they couldn't. And it wasn't that they couldn't, it's that they wouldn't. It's like you don't want something, because believe you me that if you had an urgency, you needed something, you would do anything and everything in your powerful mind, physical, spiritual realm to achieve this. So I know that you could do this, and especially that I work in a way where you don't have to fork over the full amount. You could break it down into parts. So I get rid of the excuses. Now, if you continue to build excuses, that's on you. That's not on me. My issue was that I would feel guilty because I wanted to help. I want to help everyone. I want to be there for everyone. But what I was doing is that I was taking from myself. So I had to learn that. That was my crossroads. I had to learn that. I had to break through that. And I did it. I worked through it. And I live in a space where I read a book a week. I play my video games. I have more time to be with clients. I have a business that I work with my kids that I absolutely love. And I'm living in my dream space, doing, is it perfect? Absolutely not. I have health issues. I'm in and out of the doctors. I'm working on certain things. I'm not a spring chicken. There's plenty of, cricks and crooks all over my body and my system. But I am healing with the angels. I'm alive. I'm breathing. So I'm still able to co-create and share this magic with you. So beyond that, when you say I deserve this and you commit to it, it's for you. It's for you. Because the truth is, unfortunately, it's not going to hurt me that you're not doing it. Not only that, you're finding a way to co-create magic and to learn this. It's almost like a tool that you put in your spiritual belt and you get to utilize it over and over and over. And why not you? Why not you? So let's talk about October. Why is it so powerful? Why is it so magical? Why does Daisy come out of her her little hermit mode to tap into and share this power with so many? Well, first of all, the moon is really powerful. And especially that there's so much dark lala around the moon. There's so much this or that. The moon is fake. There's so much. Like, you could just Google crazy mysteries of the moon and it's like insane. I wouldn't even recommend you do it. Studying the great books, the Emerald Tablet, the Torah, the Bible, studying the great books, which is what I go straight to source. I don't just read every author that comes out with a new idea. I literally go to the great books and sources and study these individuals that had witnessed, especially during the time of the Renaissance, especially during the time of Jesus, during the time of Thoth, and just realizing the power of the moon and why it's been here. Now they're telling us that, me and my husband were talking, I'm like, oh, the moon is going to explode. Yet we've had occurrences where people have seen a second moon. Isn't that crazy? Life is perfection. Life is cosmic. Life is bending reality. It's your way of creating the things that you wish and you intend and you want. And for me, when I felt, because I am a control freak, I've told you that many times and y'all don't believe me, it took me a long time to really say, okay, I'm going to detach myself from that type of energy, because that's what's been embedded, that's what has been taught, that has what subconsciously has been put into our system, so we can repeat over and over and over and wonder why our life is not progressing, or why the changes don't last, or why the good times, So we're meant to learn. We're meant to be here to learn the lessons. We're meant to grow from the lessons. But we are also meant to love ourselves. Life is supposed to be joyful. Life is supposed to be heaven on earth. This is why in the old book they talk about the firmament right here in our reality, in our earth. So why have all these lessons being taken away? And it's because you're going to have the controllers trying to control, trying to put fear, trying to embed it. Because if they're controlling you, and if you don't make it, and if you can't pay your bills, and if you're constantly sick, and if you're not happy, then what are you doing? You're numbing all that pain by working relentlessly for companies and people and individuals that all they're doing is just taking advantage of you. And they don't care because they're fulfilling their needs. They're fulfilling their greediness and their voids, right? Because the reason they're doing that is because they're unhappy themselves. So they feel like their happiness is because they want to live certain ways. I can't jam all of this into one video because it doesn't happen. So I'm just kind of touching the bases and sharing with you why what I'm going to teach you is so powerful and why is it worth for you to take advantage of this. Because just from the commitment, which is only 55, you're going to see ripple effects in your life. And even if you decide, and I don't recommend this, but even if you decide, hey Daisy, I'm just going to do that because I can't afford it, because that's what we tell ourselves. We can't afford this, we can't have that. That's all we tell ourselves over and over, what we cannot have. And then we wonder why we don't have things, because that's how we tell ourselves. And that's what I teach you not to do. Anywho, even through that one initial ritual, you're going to witness crazy shifts and reality changes, because that is what I do. That is what I share. It doesn't make me or break me that you sign up or you don't sign up, because like I said, I do other things. I'm okay. I come out of my hermit mode to share this magic with you all. And of course, you know that the spaces when I create this type of magic are very limited. So below I will share the link. You have my email, and of course I work with you. Like, there's no excuses. So besides all of that, let's get into it. So we have the full moon on the 6th. Initially, it's going to be October 7th at 3:47, right? It's a hunter's moon. Guess what? It's in Aries. So let's talk about Aries. What is Aries? Aries is a fire sign. So not only is it a hunter's moon, but it's in Aries. And if you know a lot of Aries the way I do, Aries are ambitious. Aries like to have money in their pocket. Aries like to expand and grow. This full moon will put the fire in that light that has been off in your life for quite some time. This moon will light the path of your journey so you could realize and see the things that you need to work on and the changes that you need to make. And sometimes if we have all of this clutter, this is why I start with the obstacle clearing. You can't see all this stuff. I can't see what's under my papers and stuff, because I have to first work on what's on the surface. I have to clear the obstacles, right? Of course, this is my projects and stuff that I absolutely love, so I can't call it obstacles. This is my joy. But metaphorically, I'm talking to you in an illustrative way for you to comprehend what I'm trying to share with you. So then we have that, and I continue every week sending you energetic rituals and videos for you to keep going. So there's no lapse. There's no struggle. So even if you have that off day, hence repeat, play, and you get right back in your mojo, because you are going to be battled. Dark lalas are real, people, and I always tell you this. I don't talk about rainbows and butterflies and how if you visualize and you keep your thoughts happy that everything will come. No. Dark lalas are always in your shit, and sometimes it's your next door fucking neighbor that doesn't like you and is sending you dark energy. They are real. So I'm giving you the tools for you to repeat and repeat and repeat as you go on this journey. But from the beginning, you're going to see the ripples. You're going to see the effects. You're going to see the waves and changes. So then we go into that. And on the 21st, we have the new moon. And that's when we're going to do our candle magic. Lying. The candle magic we start on the full moon. On the new moon, we're closing our candle magic. Sorry about that. And on that new moon energy, I will do a video just for you. And by that time, you have questions. By that time, you felt shit. Because now we're working months. Because we started in August. You have September. We're going in October. So you have questions. You've seen stuff. So you're going to send me your questions. And of course, I'm going to ask Spirit. And with Spirit, through your ritual, you're going to get the answers. You're going to get 2026 visuals. You're going to see what's coming. You're going to see what Spirit has to say. And if you know me, I'm honest. I'm brutal. I don't sugarcoat. Because I don't want Spirit to sugarcoat with me. I want Spirit to tell me, Daisy, you fucked up. And if you don't do this and if you don't make these changes, it ain't going to happen, girl. So why would I tell you everything is rainbows and butterflies and you're going to get the man of your life if you're not? Or you're going to make $1 million if you're not, because you're not doing XYZ. I want Spirit to tell me the truth. So hence I'm going to pay that forward. So that is during the new moon. Then on the 29th, we're in Aquarius, baby. We're in that creative magic. And what happens on the 29th? That is when the veil is at its thinnest. That is when you could talk to grandma and grandpa that passed away 3 decades ago. Because that's how thin it is. That's why people go on Halloween and do all that humbo jumbo. But see, us spiritualists, we do Halloween very different. And then we have the 29th, the 30, the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. That. So we go Aquarius, Aquarius, and Pisces. Pisces is the most spiritual sign in the zodiac. Don't let those Pisces act like they're like, I don't believe those bitches are spiritual. They know their stuff. They are magnets. They attract. They're the most, and it annoys me because my husband's a Pisces. If that mofo knew his power and it would tap into it, if he wouldn't be so thick-headed, I would be living on my own island. I would have my limbs island. Pisces, tap into your power, my friends, because this is your time. Share that. If you're a Pisces, you need to tap into that power and pay it forward and share that. So we're tapping into your power, Pisces, during this energy. And then we close it with another live and more of that energetic energy that I'm going to teach you. And this magic, you will never see it again. You won't see it. That's why I don't share it on YouTube. I don't share it on YouTube. Nope, it won't happen. Why? Because this is too powerful. And this cannot be for everyone. So I welcome you on this path. I welcome you on this journey. And like I said, thank you. Because you guys are still subscribing. You're still loving my work. And I think it's so crazy. You know, and that's why I made everything. All my unlisted videos, they're all there. My scripting videos, you can have it all. That was my gift to you. That was all the years of me pouring and pouring into you. Because scripting works. And you guys still write me letters. And you guys still buy those scripting books. And I'm really grateful for your awesomeness. Really, really grateful. All those books are there. All those tools are there for you to tap into and manifest. So I hope I see you on this. I will link my email below just in case you're not on my email list, so you don't get the actual email with the offer and all the details. You can email me and say, hey Daisy, I want to know. So yeah, and I'll send you all the details. You know, and I understand some of you may not, you know, be part of it. First, because I don't have a lot of seats. And second, because maybe you just feel like you can't because you're still in that fear energy. And that is okay. So go back. Figure out why you're in this fear energy. But I know that if you use this divine energy coming forth in this next couple of months, you will see some greatness in your life. And I thank you all. And I hope to see you. I have some great books coming out. My 48 prompts are out. Scripting the 48 prompts. They're there for you to tap into that magic. And I have the videos. You could tap into the videos right here on YouTube. So the classes are there. You all have a blessed autumn. And I hope to see you in the class, because that's where I'll be at. Namaste.